What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new stream today. 3 p.m. kickoff watch-along. We have got 20 minutes to kill just before kickoff. But I said yesterday there was a promise. I had to promise and prove something to you guys, which a lot of you didn't believe. I know there's a lot of you to start the stream, but they're going to have to see the start of the stream for some proof. I said that my cat would eat any yogurt I give him. But it's the moment of truth. I've got an empty yogurt pot here. It is banana and custard flavour, this type of yogurt. Got a pot, and we've also got this as well. So we're going to prove, there he is. And he's been waiting very patiently because he knew I had yogurt since I opened the pot. And you're going to see it from your very eyes. Sarah, welcome to the stream. Darraj, welcome as well. I don't know what that sound was. I don't know why I can hear. Anyway, so this is for you. Be a good boy. There you go. Oh, I tell you what I can hear. I can hear the piano in the background. Couldn't be bottom of the league, Nottingham Forest. Yeah, absolutely. That was a great win for Nottingham Forest. You would see it in my scrolling text. Forest 1, Liverpool 0. Very negative in the way that Forest played, but parking the bus and hitting Liverpool in the break. And it worked. 1-0 win. It puts them on 9 points now. So it makes it look a little bit more realistic for them to potentially get out of this. I cannot believe this thing. Bloody hell. Anyway, he'll be the star of the show as I go through this. So, we've got 2 Premier League games to talk about. And we have got 9 championship games to go on about as well. Because after today, we've got 2 more on the Sunday. Are you done? Do you want more? He wants more. Great, of course he does. He's even got some on the lid as well that he wants to have as well. I mean, I did say, I didn't think you're going to finish it all. And he has as well. Look at him. He's going for it. Can you please show us the City line versus Brighton? Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm a bit occupied at the moment. But as soon as he is eventually satisfied, I can get started. It was just... Some people didn't believe that he would eat absolutely anything. And that should now be good proof of that. Are you finally done? He's finished the whole bloody thing. Bloody hell. Right, well, for good measure then, you can also have this as well. Have the lid. Anyway, now I can... Oh my gosh. Now I can get started. So, welcome everyone to this stream. Gatsby carrying the stream. I know, just look at him. I said he wouldn't can eat any yogurt, and he is right now. He's loving it. Banana and custard, by the way. Anyway, let's actually start. So, if we go to capture here, we'll talk about the latest results. The one big one that's going on right now is between Forest and Liverpool. And Nottingham Forest, who've only won 1 game, have now won their 2nd game of the season against Liverpool. Liverpool, from the very high for beating Manchester City, have followed it up with losing to bottom of the league, Nottingham Forest. So, quite a fall from grace from Liverpool there. It was Tyrone Aroniri who got the only goal in the 55th minute, robbing the ball from midfield and simply hitting Liverpool in the break, and it was a devastating attack. For the rest of the game, though, we saw Nottingham Forest really just trying to hold on, and in the end of it, they did, despite Dean Henderson, making some incredible saves. And they held on. 8.7. I think that's a bit harsh for Henderson, honestly. I think he should get at least 9 rated with some of the saves he made. Forest now 19th in the table with 9 points, with only their 2nd win of the season. Liverpool stuck in 7th. 11 games played. All the teams below them will have to play in the next couple of days. So it's a really bad defeat for Liverpool there. A really big blow in their top 4 chances. Not game over, but it's definitely not helpful for them at this moment of time. Right, I've only just realised I've not got any other tabs on, so I'm just going to work ahead and get that sorted. Now we've got a championship one. Or someone wanted to see Man City and Brighton's teams as well. Let's actually review the teams first. Man City, Brighton. What have we got here? So Man City have gone for Ederson, João Cancelo, Diaz, Akanji, Laporte as a back four. You've got De Bruyne, Rodri, Bernardo Silva. No Gundogan, that's annoying because he's in my fantasy team. Then you got, oh my god, and Riyad Mahrez as well. I was about to put him in my team, but I swapped him out for Gundogan. Haaland, however, is in the team, and there's Jack Grealish making his 50th appearance. It was either his 50th or his 100th one, but he's making a milestone today, Jack Grealish. For Brighton, you've got Sanchez, Webster, Dunk, Veltman, Trossard, Casado, McAllister, Solly Marsh, Pascal Gross, Adam Lallana, and Danny Welbeck. On the bench, you've got Ortega, Ake, Gomez, Stones, Lewis, Gundogan, Foden, Alvarez, and Cole Palmer. Brighton got Steele, Van Heck, Colwill, Estupinian, Lamptey, Gilmore, Enciso, Sarmiento, and Undav. Everton have struggled quite recently with their form. As you can see, it's 3 defeats in a row in their last 2 games. They've actually not scored a single goal, with not a shot on target either. So Everton definitely need to turn this form around. Jordan Pickford stays in goal despite making a howler. I don't know if it was against Spurs or if it was against Newcastle, but it was one of those games and he made a really bad mistake. Got a back four of Seamus Coleman, Conor Cody, and James Tarkowski and Mikalenko. For midfield 3, you've got Alex Iwobi, Idrissa Gueye, and Amanadu Onana. For the front 3, you've got Anthony Gordon, Calvert-Lewin, and Damari Gray. Now here is Palace's team. You've got Gaeta, Mitchell, Gueye, Anderson, Jawad, Elise, Miljovic, Eberechi Eze, Wilfried Zaha, who's a new addition to my fantasy team actually, Edward, and Jordan Ayew. Decent teams all round. Everton, they've got Begovic, Holgate, Keane, Garner, McNeil, Decore, Davis, Morpay, and Rondon on the bench. For Palace, you've got Johnston, Balmer, Tompkins, Schlupp, Riedewald, Hughes, Eberechi, Killian Phillips, and Mateta. So those are your Premier League teams. Let's see if we can quickly go through the rest of the Championship. So let's cover the first early game. Blackpool 4, Preston 2. What a result that has turned out to be. I'm also just going to very quickly multitask and make sure I save all my predictions. I've still not calculated the previous 3 predictions, but I literally will do it straight after this. So luckily there's been no other predictions being made and everyone's been posting their predictions on time, which is fantastic. It makes it much more helpful for me. Okay, so that's out the way. Blackpool 4, Preston 2. I mean, Preston, who were considering like the kings of their back line, to concede 4 goals against their rivals, it's not going to be a game they will forget for a long while and for a very bad reason. They conceded to Jerry Yates, but 8 minutes later, Whiteman scored from the penalty spot. I need to see the penalty decision. Then Charlie Patino, who I think was their best, well, one of their best players on the pitch at least, scores from distance to make it 2-1. Jerry Yates scores from a cross and a header to make it 3-1. And it goes to 3-2 from an own goal by Cannon Connolly. Preston pushed for an equaliser, but Woodman gets robbed off the ball, and CJ Hamilton from quite a way out scores in an empty net to make it 4-2 to Blackpool. That puts Blackpool in some breathing space. You can see that they've got 19 points now, and they are 5 points clear of West Brom. So that was a really crucial win for Blackpool actually. Preston, with his defeat, fall down to 9th. With 14 goals conceded, I can officially tell you that Preston do not have the best defence in the league anymore. Burnley have conceded less goals. They've conceded the same amount as Sheffield United, Luton, and they've actually conceded more than Rotherham as well. And Birmingham have conceded less. In fact, Birmingham and Burnley have got the best defence in the league. My word, that's amazing. Anyway, Preston not looking as strong defensively now after this one result there. A 9.3 rating for Jerry Yates, who's had a brilliant season. I've got to be honest. Jerry Yates, I thought he was actually pretty averaged out last year. But for some reason, with Appleton coming in, he's now playing his best football for Blackpool. And I think he needed a season to climatise to this level. and he has done really, really well. Seeing the Jerry Yates I was expecting to see for when he was scoring goals for fun in League One. So, what is your guys' reactions to everything? Charlie, Jack, both of you, welcome. Blue Terrier, welcome as well. Got my beer. I've not got a beer, not this early in the day. I might have one later though. Huddersfield. Blue Terrier says Huddersfield are definitely losing today. By the way, Charlie and Jack, I don't know if you saw it, but Gatsby's here, and he finished an entire yogurt pot. So that's something for your entertainment just before, just at the start of the stream as well. So that could be something worth clipping out or whatever. I have got a chat box here, and in fact, I'm going to change something. I'm going to make sure the text color is black because I can't read it very well. So yeah, that's something a little bit new. In fact, I'm going to adjust a couple of things. That doesn't need to be all that big, to be honest. And we'll make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Should be a lot easier for you to see it. Unfortunately, it resets when I change scenes like this, so we'll reset, but you guys will be able to see your comments on my display. Now, 8 minutes before kickoff, bloody hell, let's actually try and preview all of the teams. So, Blackpool and Birmingham are going to be the first team alphabetically to go through. Let's see their lineups. You've got Kaminsky, Carter, Hyam, Wharton, Hedges, Travis, Morton, Pickering, Wharton, Brereton Diaz and Gallagher up front. Birmingham, you've got Ruddy, Trusty, Dean, Sanderson, Colan, Hall, Bielik, Bakuna, Longello, Taychon and Scott Hogan. Eustace doing a terrific job with this team at this moment of time, and Birmingham, as I said, with the joint best defence in the league as of now. Blackburn's backline, you've got pairs, Mola, Garrett, Phillips, Buckley, Vell and Tyree Stolen. Birmingham, you've got Etheridge, Jordan James, Mabry, Graham, Deeney, Jukovic and Job Bellingham. Decent benches all round. I'm trying to do my quick alphabet in my mind. I can't think of... I think it's Middlesbrough next, actually. I don't know if we see anything that... Okay, yeah, so we've got Sunderland and Sheffield United. Yeah, so it's Middlesbrough, Huddersfield next. Blue Tail is very pessimistic about Huddersfield's chances today. For Middlesbrough, you've got Steffen, Smith, Fry, Nenningham, Giles, McNair, Howson, Mowat, Jones, Akpom and Watmore. Will Michael Carrick be confirmed as manager? I'll be very interested to hear if he's potentially at the ground watching this. For Huddersfield, you've got Nichols, Nakayama, Helik, Lees, Turton, Kasumu, Kamara, Rudoni, Holmes, Thomas and Daniel Ward. Fotheringham needs to get another win at some point. With only one win in his opening 5 games, it's not going to be a potentially good replacement as of now. By the way, full-time at Tynecastle, Hearts 3, Celtic 4. Celtic just refuse to get beaten right now. There's one of my colleagues is a Rangers fan. I've probably told you this already, and he's just sick to death of Celtic at this point. Anyway, Millwall's team looks like this. You've got George Long, McNamara, Hutchinson, Jake Cooper, Scott Malone, Jamie Shackleton, Billy Mitchell, Vogelsama, Fleming, Stiles and Bradshaw. Now that's a very classy Millwall side. With West Brom, you've got Palmer, Peters, Furlong, O'Shea, Reach, Yoksulu, Garner Hickman, Bartley, Grant, Swift and Wallace. That's a very strong team. Wallace playing against his former club, of course. So we'll see if he can get any... Well, we'll see what sort of reception he gets for a start. So I will be intrigued to see how that runs. Then, alphabetically next, we've got QPR Wigan. Let's go about their way. QPR, you've got Dieng, Laird, Balogun, Clark Salter, Powell, Johansson, Field, Iwa Beganen. That was actually perfect. Bloody hell. Chair, Armstrong and Lindendyke. Still no Chris Willock. He picked up that injury, didn't he? With Wigan, you've got Amos, Tilt, Watmore, Kerr, DeWeekwa, Cousins, Shinnie. There's Graham Shinnie. Someone asked me, where is Graham Shinnie? He's playing in Wigan at the moment. Max Power, James McLean, Will Keane and Nathan Broadhead. You've got Archer, Kai, Dickey, Dozzle, Taylor Richards, Amos and Macaulay Bonner for the QPR bench. For Wigan, you've got Jones, Edmonds Green, former Rotherham and Huddersfield player, Bennett, Asgard, Naina, Fletcher and Josh McGuinness. Then I believe alphabetically next it's going to be Rotherham and Hull. For Rotherham, you've got Johansson, Harding, Wood, Peltier, Balazer, Norton Cuffey, Wiles, Rathbone, Ferguson, Ease and Washington. For Hull, you've got Baxter, Greaves, Jones, Figueiredo, Cyrus Christie, Seri, Woods, Pelkas, Regan Slater, Greg Doherty, and Ryan Longman up front. For their bench, for Rotherham, you've got Vickers, Hall, Humphreys, Bramall, Odofin, High, and Georgie Kelly. For Hull, you've got Ingram on the bench with Coyle, McLaughlin, Tufan, Cynic, Fleming, and Estupinian, who was right up there for the top goal scorer, but now he's struggling to get into the team at all. So what a fall from grace in that part there. Right, so it's actually Reading, Bristol City that it should have been. I can't do my alphabet. So anyway, you've got Lumley, McBenney, you've got Holmes, McIntyre, Hoylett, Ince, Loom, Hendrick, Ratman, with the front two of Yakumete and Lucas Jow. For Bristol City, you've got O'Leary, Atkinson, Viner, Close, Sykes, James, Williams, De Silva, Alex Scott, Naki Wells, and Semenyo. For the bench for Reading, you've got Buzanis, Guinness Walker, Abbey, Fauna, Ejaria, Carroll, and Shane Long. A very attacking bench, actually. Bristol City, you've got Bentley, Pring, Tanner, King, Vyman, Martin, and Tommy Conway. Similarly, a very attacking bench from both of these teams. Both are going to have good options if they are going to acquire them. So, Sheffield United, Norwich is next. Now, that's the one I'm really excited about. You've got Davis, Basham, Egan, Amadezovic, Bulldog, Osborne, Norwood, Fleck, Mukherjee. They've actually not. I was thrown off because they're actually not shown there as a team. Brewster, Sharp, and Messiah, Robinson. What's happened here? Have they not announced the lineups? What's happened here? They've merged the bench and the lineups. That's very off-putting, that. All right, well, I'll read to how so I think this is going to be the bench. You've got a Messiah, Robinson, Doyle, Cadra, Ndai, and McBurney. For Norwich, you've got Gunn, Aarons, Haney, Gibson, Gianna Lewis, Hayden, Cantwell, Ramsey, Nunez, Pookie, Sargent. Nah, is Angus Gunn actually starting this game? You've got on the bench Krul, Tompkinson, Hernandez, Gibbs, Hugo, and Sanani. Right, I've got to really hurry up now with 2 minutes left. We've not got many left, so we've got Stoke and then Sunderland. Okay, so it's going to be Stoke Coventry next, which Matt SB is currently streaming at the moment. There we go, that's what I'm used to. Gareth Southgate is there at Goodison Park, probably seeing Jordan Pickford and those people. I hope he watches Eze and picks him. You've got Bursick, Sterling, Jagielka, Wilmot, Fox, Laurent, Baker, Tyrese Campbell, Smallburn, Fosu, and Dwight Gale. For Coventry, you've got Ben Wilson, Panzo, McFadden, Michael Rose, Dabo, Eccles, Hamer, Allen, Bidwell, Casey Palmer, and Victor Gyökeres. Casey Palmer actually did a good job when he was substituted on for Coventry. For the bench, for Stoke, you've got Bonham, Clark, Flint, Thompson, Delap, Powell, and Jacob Brown. For Coventry's bench, you've got Simon Moore, Doyle, Kane, Burrows, O'Hare's on the bench. That's big news. Tavares and Martin Waghorn's there. Finally, for Sunderland, Burnley, that's the final two teams to preview. You've got Patterson, Hume, 09, Bat, Chirkin, Corey Evans, Dan Neil, Embleton, Pritchard, Jack Clark, Amad Diallo. And finally, for Burnley, you've got Muric, Vitinho, Charlie Taylor, Harvey Bennis, Connor Roberts, Cullen, Brownhill, Zarai, Goodmanson, Teller, and Ashley Barnes. That is all of our teams covered. I'm just very going to quickly make sure I've got all my tabs open for League 1 and League 2 because I've had to open quite a few new tabs. Good result for Ipswich, by the way, yesterday for getting a win over Derby. I did a whole watch-along over it since I couldn't watch it. And as the result was currently played, that is full time and Lincoln have held on for that draw. That's a big result because now Ipswich have got a tiny bit of breathing space again. A 3-point gap between them and Sheffield Wednesday. That's a very positive result for Ipswich, for Sheffield Wednesday to drop points like that. I'm just going to go to the National League now. And is there any way I can get to the National League South as well, just to check on Chelmsford? I hope I can. I'm just checking. I will read comments in a minute, guys. Oh, come on. It was there. Right, games are starting to play. Right, in fact, instead of doing this, let's actually start predicting who we think is going to score first. Right, so let's actually go back to this. So, guys, Where we're going to get the first goal, that is what we're going to predict. Where do you think we'll get our first goal? I mean, let's predict the championship first. In terms of the first goal, I think we'll see Rotherham score first against Hull. I think that will be our first goal. But as of the EFL as a whole, I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for Swindon getting a quick goal against Hartlepool. That will be my prediction. So, that is my predictions. Let me know if your predictions for that in the comments as well. Daryl Hill is going for Norwich to score first. John is saying Middlesbrough to score first. Jack's saying Birmingham and Scott Hogan to score first. Give me some prediction points, says Charlie. I really wish for the same as well. 0 points to start things off this weekend for both Premier League and Championship at the moment. We're going to go into the London Stadium to watch West Ham versus Sigburg in the Conference League. Ah, pretty decent then. Hoping for a York win, says Charlie. How many subs? Right, well, we actually lost subs because I think what happened yesterday was that we had a couple of people subscribing from duplicate accounts, and I don't think YouTube liked that at all, to be honest. So, I'm sorry, I'm just going to quickly do something just so you can see it, because I've got another tab open, basically. Right, so... where we are right now is subscribers, since someone did want to ask. Well, 1,515. We've got our first 2 goals. It's in League 2. Not quite correct in terms of my predictions. So, yeah, 1,515. So, we've fallen a little bit back. You may have noticed as well. Oh, this is not the right scene. This is the right scene. No moustache. That's now completely gone. But I've still got the beard there. To get that beard gone, all you've got to do is to get me to 2,000 subscribers and I'll be completely babyface again. So you've got a small preview of what it's going to be, but it needs to be fully to 2,000 subscribers and I will get rid of the whole shebang on my face. So you guys know what to do. Please do smash that like and subscribe button if you've not done so. It does really help the growth of this channel. Right, let's cover the first 2 goals before I do forget. They've come in League 2. And whoever said Norwich to score first in the Championship is right. Let's just quickly cover the League 2 goals first. So Crawley have taken the lead against Mansfield with Nadason scoring there. And Northampton taking the lead against Stevenage, top of the league Stevenage as well, with Appiah getting the goal for Northampton. But Norwich have taken the lead, and who else scores first other than Teemu Pukki? 1-0 to Norwich. What a start for them. So that win will put Norwich on 27 points. It still doesn't get them back into the top 2, but it does make them recover a little bit there. Daryl said it. Well, yeah, Daryl, you were absolutely spot on. Fair play to you. I would want you to do bets in the future then. Charlie is predicted Posh for Peterborough, but yeah, they've not scored yet. That would gain a couple of Scottish goals, really. That's what we're really saying at the moment. O'Hare's back on the bench. Yeah, I did mention that, Darraj. Yeah, I did. And I think I've caught up with comments. That's nice. So, let's actually review all of these games still. I think there was another goal in League 2. Excuse me, I got hiccups. That's because I ate my yogurt very, very quickly. So it's an away goal to Leyton Orient. I've completely skipped it. Theo Archibald, former West Ham player, scores for Leyton Orient at Brunton Park to make it 1-0 to Leyton Orient. That will put Leyton Orient back on top since Stevenage are losing and Leyton Orient are now winning again. Both Stevenage and Leyton Orient looking remarkably consistent. So it's going to be a very interesting battle between those 2 teams. In the Championship, we're still only seeing the 1 goal. I'm going to have to refresh all of these games. So there we go. They're all now refreshed and up to date. For the Premier League, no other goals between Everton and Palace and Man City Brighton. Both still 0-0. For League 1, we've had no goals so far. Once again, I'm going to have to update and refresh all of these ones at the moment. We're about 5 minutes in for all of these games here. Right, so the only goal in the EFL, in the top 3 leagues in the EFL, has come to Norwich against Sheffield United. Big goal. Kelty Heart sounds like a boy band. Right, okay, Chris Boyd is watching Rangers and Livingston have taken the lead, and that is not good for Rangers since Celtic managed to beat Hearts this weekend, or just now actually, and now they've fallen behind to John Newball. So he scores in the game at Ibrox, 1-0 to Livingston. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst under pressure. Just going to eat some Smarties. Jack said Chong hit the post. I've predicted that Birmingham can win against Blackburn as well, so I'd actually kind of want that. I need a Norwich game to end 2-2. I've gone for 1-1, I think. So, who knows? Who knows what will happen in that game, honestly. They got one of the goals at least. Gatsby's still asleep. He's now completely satisfied with that yogurt. I can't stress enough how much the mood's going to improve for the fact that Sheffield Wednesday have dropped points and Ipswich have now won. In work, people are going to be much more happier now. And all because I didn't attend Portman Road when they played Derby. Any other game, it would have been a 0-0 draw and they would have been moaning about Ipswich again. And I think they still will. There's still a lot to be desired from Ipswich going forward. But a win is a win, and I can look at, Forest, for instance. They barely had the ball, and, Liverpool would feel unlucky not to get anything, but they found a way to win ugly. It's just going up, and I'm going to go mental. Well, it'd feel quite nice to work very close to a team that's actually in the league that I'm doing my content based on, really. What I do got to do, though, is just try and find a way to balance it, because the balance has not been great at the moment between that at the moment. No other goals in the EFL in the past 5 or so minutes or so. Or having said that, we've got to go in the National League. The first one, Aldershot have taken an early lead against York. Tyler Cordner scores for Aldershot to make it 1-0. Goal. Now we're getting some goals. So, first goal for League One. It's come at the Wham Stadium. Accrington Stanley 1-0 up against Bolton Wanderers. Sean Wally scores for Accrington. What a name. To make it 1-0. And in fact, I've completely skipped over Peterborough. They've scored against Oxford. Jack Taylor scores for Peterborough to make it 1-0 to them. Now, that will put Peterborough on 25 points. 5 points behind Sheffield Wednesday, so they'll close the gap on them. Oldham have taken an early lead against Yeovil in the National League. There's that goal there. And the only other goal was Aldershot taking the lead against York. But other than that, not a lot going on in the National League at the moment. 1 goal in the Championship. None in the Premier League. League One, we've got our first 2. 1 for Peterborough and 1 for Accrington Stanley. I'll be definitely keeping my eye on to see how Plymouth are doing. If Plymouth drop points, then this will feel even more satisfying for Ipswich fans, honestly. And for League 2, we've got a handful of goals. So we've got Crawley scoring against Mansfield. Ashley Nadesan. And, Carlisle 0, Leyton Orient 1 with Theo Archibald, and Northampton getting an early goal with a pair from the penalty spot. Newport are beating Colchester. I think someone did comment that. They have taken the lead, Newport County. That is not good. It's just appeared on my watch as well. It's not telling me who scored, but I wish it was. Right. What that means... Oh my God, look at this. Oh, look. Oh, God. Colchester are lost. Will Evans scores for Newport. Oh, my gosh. 2 wins out of 14. 9 defeats out of 14. Essex football is in absolute jeopardy right now. Wow. So Hartlepool have always, not Hartlepool, Colchester have always been good enough not to be bottom, but never did I think I'd see this. Colchester last in the whole 72 team EFL. Wow. That's good. That's going to be tough. York absolutely diabolical, says Charlie. Chelmsford apparently missed a golden chance. Are you hearing like commentary for the Chelmsford game? Oh, bloody hell, I don't want to hear that. They're playing Hemel Hempstead, Chelmsford, so I will be keeping my eye on them. I can't get to the National League South from SofaScore at the moment, so I'm going to have to be updated via Twitter. Goal for the Premier League, first Premier League goal, and it's not Man City. It's to Everton versus Crystal Palace, and it's Everton taking the lead. Now, that's their first shot on target and their first goal in over 180 minutes of football. I don't know who scored, but that will put Everton, there we go, in 12th place. And Crystal Palace will actually be joint on points with them as well. Good start for Everton here. They really needed that. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has been pretty on and off because of his nursing injuries and stuff. But when he's fit, he is a threat. Are they VARing it? But it's definitely a goal. No, it's definitely a goal. I don't know why they had to cut back to Mercer, but yeah. Goal for Everton, 1-0, and that is going to be a good goal for Everton to try and hold forward. Everton goal, says Hill Football, yeah. Championship goal. It's at Loftus Road, and it's gone to QPR. That will put them on 30 points. That'll put them 3 points clear of Norwich and 5 points clear of Sheffield United. Wow. Sam Field is the one who scores for QPR in the 12th minute. 1-0 to QPR. 9 wins out of 16. 30 points picked up. You've got to say, if QPR keep this going for the next couple of months or so, they will be difficult to stop. I said QPR 2-0. I've definitely gone for a QPR win. I think I've gone for 2-1 QPR or something like that. I don't know. But I've definitely gone for a QPR win. So that will be 1 point in the prediction league at this moment of time. I can't even remember what I said for anything else, to be honest. Yep, so need to check Chelmsford on Twitter. That's literally how I'm going to be updated about this game. Yep, got good updates actually on Twitter actually, so that's probably what I'm going to use. Still 0-0 to Man City Brighton. Right, Swindon have finally scored against Hartlepool, so I wasn't too far off with Swindon getting the first goal. But Swindon now, what that might mean is that I think Hartlepool will now be bottom of the league. John Williams scores, a former Cardiff player, scoring for Swindon to make it 1-0. And yeah, that means Hartlepool are now back to the bottom of the league. So that pain was only temporarily for Colchester there. Yeah, but Crawley have commanded themselves into a 2-0 lead. That's the biggest change of the table. Tom Nichols scores just now against Mansfield to make them 2-0 up. They are going to be the biggest movers as it stands. Still only 2 goals in the Championship. 1-0 to Norwich and 1-0 QPR. Any other goals in League 1 to talk about? Doesn't look like it. Only 2 goals there. Only 1 goal in the Premier League. League 2. Oh no, I say that. We've got a goal in League 1 and Ipswich fans will not like it because their main competition, Plymouth, have taken an early lead already. This is against a Bristol Rovers side that have really improved their form. 3 wins in a row and a draw. Plymouth away from home, not as great as they are at home, but they have gone a good unbeaten run away from home. But this is a big goal for them. If they win this, they go 7 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday. That is incredible. Finn Zaz scores with Bali Mumba, who former Wickham player, gets the assist to make it 1-0 Plymouth. That's a statement goal, if that is. considering it's a Sheffield, not Sheffield, it's Bristol Rovers team that have really improved. Chesterfield score early against Bromley. In fact, both Chesterfield and Bromley are right up there, actually. So that's a big game, actually. Second goal at Bramall Lane. Just quickly, Solihull Moors have taken the lead against Eastleigh. That's a big goal on their part. They're still 0-0 between Bournemouth and Wrexham. But the other goal at Bramall Lane is Sheffield United 0, Norwich 2. Wow. I can't remember what Ben predicted for this, but I definitely didn't have faith in any team winning. But now that Timu Puki is now starting to get some goal scoring form back now, maybe I should have considered Norwich, but I don't know. They've gone for 3 defeats in a row, but they've clearly responded in a huge way. And as it stands, they are now starting to close in on Burnley's goal difference. So there could be a small chance they could overtake Burnley if they draw. But for me, I think the fourth is the best that they can expect. Although there's a big goal at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland score first against Burnley. Amad Diallo scores for Sunderland. I was saying that I think Norwich will have to wait for fourth at best. Because Burnley are now losing, Norwich now overtake them. It's clear that Sunderland were hearing what I had to say and they wanted to get on the yacht. So now Norwich are back up to third currently with this win, because Burnley, as it stands, will go through their second defeat of this season as Amad Diallo scores for Sunderland to make it 1-0. And a big goal also at Ewood Park. I've gone for 2-1 to Birmingham. And Blackburn have already got the 1 goal I need. Since they have taken the lead, Sam Gallagher is one of my strikers in my Gaffer team. So I'm very pleased to see that. He scores for Blackburn to make it 1-0. And this is a Birmingham side who've only conceded 13 goals. You know, that is their best defence. They have got the best defence in the league. And in fact, the two teams with the strongest defence have just conceded back-to-back with Burnley and Birmingham, both conceding an opening goal in their games respectively. So that's going to shake things up in the table. If Blackburn, with that win, currently they go 3 points clear of Norwich, also joint on points with QPR. Now, what makes it interesting is that one of the midweek games is Norwich versus Burnley, which was supposed to be played weeks ago. I might consider streaming it, actually, because that's going to be a huge game now. Another goal in League 2. It's, we've had 2 goals between Carlisle and Leyton Orient. So, equalising goal for Ryan Edmondson. But just now as we speak, Leyton Orient have made it 2-1. Don't know who scored, but we'll go back to it. Goal in League 1. Forest Green have fallen behind against Portsmouth. Sean Raggett scores for Portsmouth, who need to respond in a big way after a humiliating 3-0 defeat to Charlton Athletic in midweek. It's Theo Archibald again, by the way, the goal scorer for Leyton Orient. Portsmouth, with that current 3 points, they put themselves on 25 points, same as Peterborough, and of course have got 2 games in hand. And in fact, if they win both of those games in hand, they can overtake Sheffield Wednesday. So this will be a very important 3 points for Portsmouth if they do manage to take it. It looks like this 3 p.m. kickoff is now starting to kick back to life. Goals flying in and just me scavenging, trying to catch up with all of them there. Thoughts on Nottingham Forest's win? Massive win for Forest, and I think it gives me a little bit more faith that they may offer something in the Premier League. Charlie said 1-0 Blackburn. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Well, I said 2-1 Birmingham. I've gone for a shock. There was only their dangerous attack and they score it. Ben predicted 2-1 Sheffield United. That's what I thought. I thought he went for 2-1 for one of the teams, but I can't remember if he went for Sheffield United or Norwich. I have a feeling he did say Sheffield United, so yeah, he's already got that wrong. Man City are VARing something. Was it a penalty? Wait, so Man City wanted a penalty and VAR's not giving it. Wow. It sounds like the panelists are very shocked that no penalty was given there. Potentially Brighton have got away with one there. There's another goal in League 2 and it does look like Hartlepool are really struggling now. Luke Jeffcott, who has joined Swindon on loan from Plymouth, makes it 2-0 Swindon, and it's not good news if you're Jeff Stelling or a Hartlepool supporter, because that's 1 win in 15 and 3 points off Crawley now. So it is looking very, very nervy if you are a Hartlepool supporter. So something's going on in the Rangers game, but we're not recording this. Well, okay, my prediction for Sunderland Burnley's wrong, because Sunderland have commanded themselves into a 2-goal lead. I've gone for a 1-1 draw in that game. Wow. So Sunderland have gone 2-0 up. Dan Neil scores for Sunderland to make it 2-0. And Burnley, as it stands, will be falling to their second defeat of the season. They could even fall below Sheffield United if Sheffield United can somehow turn it around against Norwich. Right, well, something's been given. Man City have scored. It's 1-0 Manchester City. And it's Haaland, of course, who scores. He scores to make it 1-0 to Manchester City. My predictions are falling over the place. I said 2-0 Mill against West Brom. And what happens? West Brom are the team who score first in the Den. It's John Swift who scores for West Brom here. I thought it was going to be Jed Wallace, but no, it's John Swift who scores for West Brom, who they looked really poor actually against Bristol City, but West Brom, development's going out from them that it looks like that they're talking to Carlos Corberán as their new manager. So at least West Brom are now looking like that they've been developing their next ploy for a manager, at least. Both them and Middlesbrough looking like that they're very close to appointing new managers. So yeah, 2-0 Sunderland. What a scoreline that's turning out to be at this moment of time. That's a huge win for Sunderland if they get it. Second goal at Loftus Road. Wow, okay then. So, QPR 1, Wigan 1. I think I said 2... Gatsby, what are you doing? Do you see him? What's he doing? He's very close. What is it? But yeah, Nathan Broadhead scores for Wigan to make it 1-1. That's a big goal for Wigan there. Millwall will come back, says Vijay. West Brom 1-0 up. Yeah, we've caught up with all the goals right now. I'm just paying a bit of attention to Gatsby because he's actually saying hello to everyone here. And you're purring very loudly as well. What are you doing? I don't know what he's doing, honestly. Yeah, he can speak cat as well. Right, just going back to Chelmsford. Still 0-0. Bit nervy about that, to be honest. So, I was just trying to check to see what my predictions were. Oh, he's falling asleep. Look at him. Kind of. Look at you. So cute. Anyway, back to business. What I was going to do was just to check what my predictions were for QPR. I said 2-1. Okay, I didn't think I predicted Wigan to score, but I did. Okay. Well, okay, back to Loftus Road, and it's now 2-1. Okay, which is exactly what I predicted. Right, stop the clock there. That'll be 3 points. Who scored? It sounds like it's a very simple goal. It is Leon Balogun who scores for QPR, 2-1 to the Rangers, and now they're back on 30 points and back to the top of the table. We are seeing some serious goals going in. Oh, look, you can see Gatsby actually when I do it that way. That's nice. So, 2-1. And in fact, what am I doing? I've not updated my scores at all. Let's start doing that. So, Everton are 1-0 up. Man City have gone a goal as well. For the Championship, you've got That's great. You've got Blackburn scoring. Middlesbrough, Huddersfield still 0-0. West Brom take a lead against Millwall. We've got 3 goals between QPR and Wigan. Reading Bristol City still 0-0. Rotherham Hull still 0-0. Sheffield United Norwich. Norwich have gone for a 2-0 lead at the moment. Stoke Coventry 0-0. And Sunderland have gone for a 2-0 lead themselves as well. What a couple of minutes we've had already in this entire EFL 3 PM kickoff. So at the moment, got 0 points from Blackpool Preston, 0 from Blackburn Birmingham. I need to see a lot more goals in the Riverside for my prediction to go true there. I'm already wrong between Millwall, West Brom. QPR Wigan have got spot on currently. Bristol City need to go through a dramatic win against Reading to be correct for me. Same goes for Rotherham. They need to beat Hull. Sheffield United and Norwich is wrong since I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Although a 2-2 draw could salvage something. Stoke and Coventry, I've got 1 point since I've gone for a draw, but it's currently 0-0 rather than 1-1. And Sunderland Burnley's wrong since I predicted 1-1, but Burnley could salvage it if they go and do a 2-goal comeback. So, any other things that have been going on? We've had some big goals even in League One as well, which I'll show now. Portsmouth taking a lead. Of course, earlier on, we saw Lincoln and Sheffield Wednesday drawing 1-1. Peterborough have also taken the lead, but so have Plymouth. So all the big boys winning apart from Sheffield Wednesday at this moment of time. QPR and Blackburn just about stay at the top of the championship currently, with all of these games being played. Premier League, and we see 2 1-0 scorelines. Everton 1-0 up and Man City 1-0 up against Brighton. Simple as that. Got a lot more goals in League 2. Mansfield closed the gap against Crawley, so Crawley got to be very careful here. This will be a huge win for them if they can get it, but they concede a penalty. Back to the championship, and yep, there's been no other goals to talk about. Excuse me, I got hiccups. What's going on here? Tell you what, my sometimes I feel like my headphones have got like a mind of their own, and they just suddenly turn up and down the volume at times. Look at you. You really do like to steal the spotlight. Chat's not happy there. Did Hogan miss a big chance then, Jack, then? You might be able to see there. Comments are now visible in my display now. Big goal between Crawley and Mansfield. I said to Crawley, they have to be bloody careful. And they never learn their lesson. It's now 2-2 between them and Mansfield. Lapsley scores. And that puts Crawley back in danger. It puts them on 10 points, which is still very bad. But that's still ahead of Colchester and Hartlepool. But that's a big opportunity missed for Crawley currently if they don't win this now. Going 2-0 up and to already concede 2 goals in the space of what they did. Very, very poor. I've got to be honest. There's no other goals to talk about in the Championship. League 1 has gone a bit quieter now as well. I'm surprised to see that many 0-0 draws for League 1, to be honest. I thought it'd be a bit more open than that. Any other goals? No, nothing on at this moment of time. So we can go back to this setup here. Keep out of Hall in a headlock. So something that clearly the referee missed. Goal in League 1. So it's at St James's Park, Exeter versus Fleetwood. It is Fleetwood who take the lead against Exeter. Where Exeter themselves, look at this, 2 defeats in a row, struggling for form a little bit. Carlos Mendes Gomez, former Luton player and Morecambe player, scores for Fleetwood to make it 1-0 to the Lancashire team. And that puts them in 11th place at this moment of time. So, Fleetwood definitely defining expectations for me. And Exeter just kind of dropping down the table a little bit. They've got to be quite careful here. A lifeline for Hartlepool. They've scored 1 goal back. Clark O'Dour on loan. I think it's a loan deal from Barnsley. to Hartlepool. He scores to make it 2-1. If Hartlepool can get a point from 2-0 down, that will be considered a really good result for Hartlepool, actually. Considering that Crawley and Colchester are not winning themselves. Stoke Coventry still 0-0, actually. Let's look at stats. No shots on target. But Stoke have asked more questions, which is interesting. Okay, 2 shots on target already for Middlesbrough. So they're clearly trying to work on being more clinical. But it's not worked out for them at the moment. So it's definitely 2 shots on target. But I don't see any... Yeah, goalkeeper saves, 2 for Nichols. Right, so at least he's been kept busy. Exeter straight away equalised within 2 minutes of going behind. Jay Stansfield scores to make it 1-1. Yeah, literally within 2 minutes of each other. Exeter now equalised. And that will put Exeter on 19 points back again. And Fleetwood would drop down a couple of points as well. Exeter will now be ahead of Fleetwood within the table. What's everyone saying in the comments? OMG our stats, says Jack. I will look at them now, actually. Knowing what we're like, what they're like, yeah, that is very... Look at that, 6 shots to 1, but 1 shot on target each. So Birmingham looking quite wasteful at the moment, and Birmingham having more of the ball. I'd be a bit surprised about that. Second goal in the Kassam Stadium between Oxford and Peterborough. It may not come as a surprise, but it's the away side, Peterborough, who've taken the second goal. Kwame Poku, former Colchester player, scores to make it 2-0 to Peterborough. And that would definitely make them the best of the rest currently within this incredible top 3 we have in Plymouth, Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday. But a good goal for Peterborough there and a good result for them currently. So we've got Sunderland and Burnley. 3 shots to 2, but 3 shots on target to 0, and 2 of them were goals. Big goal in National League. Boreham Wood taking the lead against Wrexham. That's not good at all. They will put Wrexham 4 points behind Notts County, and it will put Chesterfield closing the gap on Wrexham by 2 points. It's not ideal at all if you're a Wrexham supporter. They really do need to turn this around. They had a game in midweek against Blythe Spartans to try and get through to the FA Cup. I'm wondering now that maybe some of the players there in the first team are now a bit more fatigued. But Boreham Wood coming in fresh and have now taken the lead against Wrexham. Let's see Rotherham and Hull's stats. 5 shots to 4, looking quite open. 3 shots on target for Hull at this moment of time, and Hull picked up a very good win recently on their part as well. So, what if Hull's slowly but surely starting to improve their season? So Hull not really in like ideal position, but it was a great win they had against Blackpool in midweek. So yeah, still no goals in the Select Car Leasing Stadium between Reading and Bristol City. That is also currently 0-0 at the moment. Still 1-0 between both Premier League sides. (2-0) now to Woking. Dorking taking the lead against Wealdstone. Dorking up to 9. That is impressive. Yeah, looking at that, Boreham Wood actually overtake Chesterfield currently with this win at this moment of time. He loves the bloody Gatsby. Well, I have to. I have to love my cat, you know. When we have less of everything, we do well. Well, sometimes playing off the ball is sometimes, I think, what Birmingham's strength is, to be honest. Might need to start updating the score lines a little bit. So no change in the Premier League. In fact, there's been no change, to be honest. You had a cat called Martin. Which one thought it was a good idea to call a cat Martin? Barnett had taken lead against Maidenhead, who Chelmsford are going to have to play in the FA Cup. Equalising goal from top of the table, Stevenage, who were behind against Northampton, but they must have just scored on the penalty spot. Where are they? There they are. No, Danny Rose scores to make it 1-1. Steve Evans has been sent off there. Danny Rose makes it 1-1. And that will put Stevenage joint on points for Leyton Orient. Wow. Still 0-0 between Chelmsford and Hemel Hempstead. So looking quite frustrating for Chelmsford at the moment. Another goal in League 2, Gillingham and Barrow. 1-0 to the away side, if I can find them. There they are. Josh Kay scores to make it 1-0 to Barrow, and that will put Barrow back up to 9th, actually. So look at that form there, really falling down the table there. But they will be not far away back to get into those top 7 positions. Big red card, actually, but for Walsall against Sutton. Didn't even notice that. Brandon Comley with 2 yellow cards. An Essex team has scored, but it's not Colchester. It is Southend. They score against Scunthorpe United. I don't know who scored it. In fact, I do know. It's Wesley Fongak who scores for Southend. And that puts them in 9th place. And dare I say, Southend may have a better season than expected. If they can get into the top 7, who knows? Looks like Jack is being very frustrated against Blackburn at the moment. Holler playing around defence, then putting a long ball over the top. It looks like everyone is feeling a bit frustrated with the opposition at the moment. Which, you know, if they're doing that, then they're doing a bloody good job. I'll tell you that. Still only the 2 goals of the Premier League, Everton and Man City. Man City will be on 26 points, 1 point behind Arsenal, of course, but have played a game more. Everton closed the gap onto Palace and will both be on 13 points. Everton, with a defeat today, will be on 10 points and actually only 1 point above 19th place Nottingham Forest. Red card in the game between Carlisle and Leyton Orient. The red card is to Carlisle and Ryan Edmondson, and that will make things nice and easier for Leyton Orient, to get their 3 points. Another League 2 goal, and it's gone to Yorkshire side Harrogate Town, who were struggling for points, but have recovered a tiny bit. Matty Daly scores to make it 1-0. Huge goal in League 1 in terms of the bottom and the top 6 of League 1. It has come to... What's going on with this? Oh, was it done? Are you serious? Oh, you got to be joking me. I want it back. Oh, why is it now broken? Anyway, hang on, let me just fix this. There was a goal in League 1 and they don't want to show me. Equalising goal, by the way, in the Den. Millwall have done exactly what they needed to do. And again, that equalising goal. Callum Styles equalises for Millwall. We'll look at the table. Right, I wanted to show you the goal that I was talking about. And it's the game between Morecambe and Barnsley. It's Morecambe who take an early, well, not an early, but a first half lead. Kieran Phillips, and that puts Morecambe on 11 points. And only 3 points off safety, actually. So you could say that it looks a bit more realistic for Morecambe to potentially get something. But barring something the City Brighton game. I don't know what. But anyway, let's look again at this equaliser for Millwall. Stars, as you can see, that puts Millwall back in 9th and West Brom back into 21st, only just above the bottom 3. Middlesbrough, if they don't win, will actually be in the bottom 3. That's shocking, really. They might be reviewing a handball at the Man City game. I think that's what they're looking at. For another goal, Rochdale are 1-0 down to Wimbledon. That'll be good news to the teams at the bottom, since they're going to be wanting Rochdale to be dragged back into the relegation battle. Ayub Asai scores for Wimbledon to make it 1-0 to them. Yeah, Harrogate's, despite picking up 3 wins and 4, they're not safe yet. Only 12 points that they picked up so far this season. And yeah, that definitely doesn't help, because Wimbledon actually were below Rochdale there, but a goal for them puts them back ahead of them there. Yeah, Wimbledon going all the way up to 16th with those 3 points at the moment. So I've gone for a 2-0 win to Mill, so that's going to be wrong, but I could get salvaged if Millwall manages to get a winning goal. Yeah, I did say Mill 1-1. Yeah, I did mention it. I think I've caught up with comments. Right. Caught up with goals and comments. Happy days. Right, okay, Man City have got a penalty. So they're definitely going to have a penalty at the Etihad. Haaland's going to take it. Goal, and it's really, really dangerous for MK Dons. It's another goal down they find themselves. Nick Freeman for Wickham scores. Look at his form here. 4 defeats in a row. That would be 5 straight defeats for MK Dons. And surely that will mean that Liam Manning will be in absolute jeopardy. Red card for York City as well, which Charlie would not like either. Alex Hurst gets sent off. Let's go back to Manchester City, where they Erling Haaland can make it 2-0. And he scores. 2-0 Man City. It's looking very comfortable already for Manchester City. And there's another goal in the Championship as well, which I'll talk about in a minute. Let's just catch up with the goals. So, Man City are now 2-0 up. Then for the rest, Millwall 1-1 now. Not hashtag, 1-1. And yeah, and the one that I'm just about to talk about now has come for a second goal at Ewood Park. Jack, you're going to have to cover your ears, because it's 2-0 now to Blackburn Rovers, incredibly. Their strong home form is continuing. So that makes it 2-0 to Blackburn Rovers, as you can now see. Adam Wharton, and that will put Blackburn right at, well, yeah, literally like joint points with QPR. And they will stay top of the table. 10 wins out of 17, but with 7 defeats sandwiched in there too. Norwich will be 3 points behind Blackburn. Burnley will fall a bit of ground and will be 4 points behind Blackburn there. Sheffield United will be 5 points behind Blackburn with only 1 game in hand as well. Millwall, with that draw, puts them in 7th place actually in the table. Sunderland clawing back into the top half. Middlesbrough now at the bottom 3, and I don't know what's happened there. They must have updated the points finally. Yeah, so Middlesbrough with a draw, and West Brom with also with a draw. It will stay like this for our bottom 3. And Hull, with that draw, puts them just above all of that. Yeah, but it's still a draw in all of these games, actually, and all still 0-0 as well. So, yeah, I can categorically say my prediction with Blackburn Birmingham was wrong. Like, any time I try to go for a shock, it backfires on me. Yeah, but the thing is, Jack, they've had 2 on target. They've already had more shots on target than what you have. So, Birmingham need to really evaluate the way they're playing. Because whatever Blackburn are doing, they're looking much more efficient at creating gilt-edged chances. So, you can't moan for Blackburn being clinical. You know, that's just putting disrespect to the opposing team. Birmingham just need to change the way they play in that moment there. They need to figure a way to find that balance. But you can see how Blackburn are now actually doing quite well this season for how clinical they've proven to be. Need Deeney and Hannibal. I thought, is Maybury playing? I thought Maybury was playing. I mean, I could be wrong. I did look at all the squads, but I do have the memory of a goldfish after all, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. No, he's not playing. No, it's Bakuna, Bielik, and Hall in that midfield there. Yeah, you know what? I am very surprised Maybury's not playing, to be honest, because I think when he plays with Chong, I think they've got great chemistry. And Hogan, it sounds like he's missed some countless chances as well. So I could kind of agree with your statement, Jack. I can. The half times are going to start coming in now as we've reached the 46th minute now. Most of these half-time games don't really have a lot of stoppage time. To be fair, it feels good for me actually doing these watch-alongs and I don't have to worry about Ipswich, to be honest. Although I still worry about Chelmsford because I'm still uncertain how we're doing. Still 0-0. Reading and Bristol City 0-0 at half-time. John is not pleased with Rotherham's performance. It's still 0-0 between their game, between them and Hull City, actually. It's half-time for Blackburn and Birmingham. 2-0 Blackburn Rovers. Big goal, League One, just before half-time, and it's exactly what Plymouth would want to hear. It is Adam Randall who scores for Plymouth Argyle. What can I say? They're on absolute fire this season, Plymouth. They really are proving to be the team to beat. Adam Randall, to reiterate, has scored 37 points out of a possible 45, which is remarkable consistency. 12 wins out of 15 games. That's incredible. That is an 80% win rate. And I was just going to say, John said Rotherham are playing garbage. Well, picture this. Hull City have taken the lead against Rotherham. Jacob Greaves, just before half-time, makes it 1-0 Hull. I think I annoyingly said 2-0 Rotherham, so I said 2-1, okay, I might have a chance still. So I'm going to want for Rotherham to complete a comeback because I said 2-1 to Rotherham in my predictions there. But yeah, I think that might be the last goal we see in league in the Championship just before half-time. Stoke and Coventry is also half-time, by the way, 0-0. I think a lot of the 0-0s are going to go into half-time. In fact, there's only a couple of games that are 0-0. In fact, 3 of them now, which are the first 3. Middlesbrough, Huddersfield, Stoke, Coventry, and Reading, Bristol City. Those are the only 3 games that are currently 0-0. Yep, so Hull 1-0 up right now. That will be a big goal for them there. Because Hull, look at that. They rise up to 17th place at this moment. And Rotherham would... is it a drop? Not a really big drop. Just only a 1-place drop for them if they do lose today. Down to 13th place. For League 2, you see Stockport County taking the lead. A shock lead, arguably, against... Salford. Sorry, I was a bit distracted by the scenes I've seen in Etihad. So, yeah, Stockport taking the lead. Will Collard just before half-time makes it 1-0 to them. And that will put Stockport on 15 points, which would be a really clutch time to get 3 points as well. Look at that. Stockport would rise all the way up in 16th place if they do pick up a win. Morecambe 1, Barnsley 0. It stays that at half-time. QPR 2, Wigan 1 stays that at half-time. I'd want that to be at full-time as well. So this is what I predicted for that game. And pretty much most of the games are half-time. Blue Terrier said that Huddersfield should have had a penalty. Well, as a Gromit fan, I was going to say, it's going to feel great talking about Blackpool. You can see it here. Blackpool 4, Preston 2. How did it feel? John is still rooting for Rotherham to get something, and I still think they can. It's only 45 minutes. It's only half-time. Although they've just equalised. Okay, well I can definitely tell John is quite ahead of me in terms of the time here, because just like that, thinking that Hull were going to go into half time with a lead, Rotherham just about equalised just before the half time whistle goes. I don't know who scored it. I think it's their first shot on target too. But Rotherham will more than take a draw at half time, considering that they nearly went into half time 1-0 down. It won't tell me who scored, which is annoying. But that is a big, big goal for Rotherham to score just before half time. Dan Barlaser scores in the 47th minute for Rotherham to make it 1-1. Sunderland 2, Burnley 0 is the current score at half time as well. Getting a lot of half time whistles now. Millwall are better side than most think. Yeah, well, I mean, I predicted a 2-0 win. So I'm a bit wrong for the fact that West Brom managed to score against them. But I do heavily back Millwall to go back into this. Still 0-0 between Chelmsford and Hemel Hempstead. I'm a bit nervous here. So, yeah, Rotherham 1, Hull 1 is officially the halftime score in the New York Stadium. Plymouth 2, Bristol Rovers 0, halftime score in that game there. I mean, that is what Ipswich want. They just want to have a comfortable game going in from minute 1 to 90. Plymouth really do look like now, in terms of results, the completed team that they wanted to be. Jax wanted to check Gaffer. I could check Gaffer very quickly. I mean, I've made very little changes. I think I had a very rare time that I was able to change my Prem and slightly my Gaffer team. Millwall 1, Millwall 1, West Brom 1 is the current score at half time in that game. So yeah, pretty much most games have gone into half time. Haaland with 2 goals for Manchester City makes it 2-0 to Manchester City currently. And Everton 1, Palace 0, also half time too. Don't know what's going on with my internet there. It's going a bit dicey at the moment. Hope it stays connected. So yeah, all the games have gone half time. Right, so guys, this would be the perfect time for me to promote the channel. If you've not hit the subscribe button, please do so. It does really help the growth of this channel when you do. On 1515, just to give you a small preview, I've already shaved my mustache off as well, so that's completely cleared now. But for the rest of the beard to go, you're going to have to hit that subscribe button, because 2,000 subs, I will shave my beard clean off. We are 485 subs away from that happening. I believe you guys can do it. So guys, please do continue to show your support for the channel. It does really help the growth of this channel. So there is my Gaffer team. How's it doing with points? I put on Goldfest because honestly, I really, really need something right now. I forgot to even use my final boost in the first 15. So I've got Goldfist today. Gallagher with 11 so far. Obviously, Morris will be playing tomorrow. Vyman, I didn't remember making him captain now. That's annoying. And Smodix is not starting either, so that's not ideal for me. Matson with 0. Aaron's there. Swift scored. Okay, so we've got 2 goals there. Giles has got 3 there. Okay, so I'm not doing amazing, to be honest. Rudding with 0 because for one time I want him to take over for Fotheringham as he's suspended. He's not keeping a clean sheet for Birmingham, which is just my luck, isn't it? Anyway, I will just quickly go out of this so you guys can even see the Premier League one as well. So yeah, those are all of the scores going to half time. Everton 1, Palace 0, Man City 2, Brighton 0, Blackburn 2, Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield 0, Millwall 1, West Brom 1, QPR 2, Wigan 1, Reading 0, Bristol City 0, Rotherham 0. That needs to change to 1-1 by the way, just remembered. Sheffield United 0, Norwich 2, Stoke 0, Coventry 0, Sunderland 2, Burnley 0. So all of those are nearly up to date, apart from the Rotherham and Hull game, who have scored 2 very late first half goals. So let's fix that now. Also, before the 3 p.m s, we saw Nottingham Forest pick up their second win of the season, a huge 1-0 win over Liverpool. Tyro Anoriiri scoring to make it 1-0. He also scored a winning goal for Forest against West Ham. He's done the same for against Liverpool here. So it's now 9 points for Nottingham Forest. Still not perfect, but they have now, I think, found a way that they can get results. And for the Championship, we saw Blackpool demolish their rivals Preston at Bloomfield Road again, winning by 4-2. Jerry Yates on level with the highest scoring players in the Championship this season. Honestly, I was saying this at the start of the stream. I thought Jerry Yates last year was completely average and was very disappointing considering his League One goal scoring record. But it's like he's had that season to kind of take the criticism and to somehow, with Appleton now coming in, he's playing his best football again. And he's like scoring at the rate that I was expecting him when Blackpool were in League One. So Jerry Yates has now officially, I think, unveiled the potential that he has to be a decent Championship striker and at least Blackpool's #1 striker. So I'm pleased for him, to be honest, because I think he's had to deal with a lot of criticism based on how little he offered for Blackpool last year. He was more of like a creative role rather than a goal-scoring role, but I think goals in the end of the day are going to be the one stat that people are going to pay attention to. And now that Jerry Yates is now getting on the end of those, that's going to be a big moment for Jerry Yates going forward. And I'm pleased for him. I really am pleased for him, to be honest. Just going to see if I can get my fantasy league table as well, just so you guys can see what I've gone with. It won't update points yet, but you guys will be able to see my team. So, looks like this. You got Allison. Oh, for goodness sake. He's going to get no points, isn't he? Oh, points. There you go. That's how you can see. So, yeah, Allison with 4. Alexander-Arnold is disappointing. Cancelo with 1. Saliba, who's playing against Southampton. I expect him to get more. Zaha against Palace. I'm a bit disappointed with that there. Rice, Gundogan, he's on the bench. So, I really hope he makes an appearance soon. Ward-Prowse playing tomorrow. Jesus playing tomorrow. Haaland with 18 points. Definitely carrying my whole team right now. And Mitrovic up front against Leeds, where they are a team in not great form at the moment. Thanks to the 7 of you here. To remind you again, if you've not hit that like button, please do hit the like button. It really does help the growth of this channel when you do that. I don't actually know how we're doing actually. I've not checked. I've not actually bothered to check how we're doing today. So in terms of likes, we've made it to 7 likes. Okay. So guys, if you've not liked the stream yet, guys, please do so. It really, really does help the growth of this channel if you don't do that. So yeah, we're on 9 likes now. So guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you've not hit the subscribe button, please also do that as well, since we're on, well, okay, well, this is not the subscribe option there. I forget I'm on a different browser here. 1,515 is what we're currently on. So guys, please do continue to show support for the channel if you can. It always really does help the growth of this channel. But any thoughts from halftime, do let me know. I might just quickly go just to fill some water, because honestly I am really, really thirsty. By the way, Chelmsford and Hemel Hempstead 0-0 half time, so I'm not too surprised about that. I'm very surprised that my headphones have actually not run out of charge, because it said that they were low on battery at the start of the stream, so I was thinking that they were going to run out of charge at one point, but they're still alive just about. Some big scores here. Is it going to be the same in the second half? Let's hope so, at least. We've got a couple of 0-0s at the moment. Only 2 games currently in the Championship that are still 0-0. I think I've caught up with all of your comments. So, guys, I'll be right back. I'll be back within the next minute. I'm just going to get some water from downstairs. Maybe another yogurt for this greedy pig there. I don't know. But, yeah, I'll be back within 1 minute. So, guys, whilst I'm away, please make sure you... But actually, I've got water. I actually might not need to go away. Actually, I have water already. I thought I didn't have water, but I actually have water with me. See, there's your soup. It's a great HR assistant at work, is see. Anyway, we've got pretty much 2 minutes away for half time. Get Gatsby yogurt. I fed him yogurt at the start of the stream. So guys, yeah, when this stream's end, or if you want some entertainment before the second half, go to the start of the stream where I literally made Gatsby finish this entire tub of yogurt. No joke. It's completely empty. Look at that. Absolutely empty. He really is one of a kind. Gatsby wants a yogurt. He's had a yogurt. One is more than enough. I don't want to hospitalise him. Dortmund are 5-0 up apparently. Who on earth are they playing? I'm actually going to check actually. You've made me intrigued. Other Scottish Premiership scores at the moment. St Mirren are 1-0 up against Dundee United. Aberdeen are 1-0 up against Motherwell. And Kilmarnock, recently promoted Kilmarnock, are 1-0 up against Ross County. Oh, they're playing Stuttgart. Oh, okay. Bayern Munich ahead against Hoffenheim, I've noticed. How are Union Berlin doing? Because they're currently the leaders of that league. In fact, that win for Bayern Munich currently puts them 1 point behind Union Berlin, but they have played one game more than Union Berlin. What's surprising is that Union Berlin have not done particularly well with their away form. They're 5th place in the away form table, and they're 3rd place in the home form table, but they've just had enough consistency that they are the team currently top of the Bundesliga. Another big score is that Wrexham are losing against Boreham Wood still. Chesterfield's still winning. And that would not be good news if you're a Wrexham supporter. But yeah, I'm going to keep Twitter on just so I can constantly check Chelmsford against Hemel Hempstead. Before we get into the second half, I mean, they're just really dragging it out now at this point. It's a good time to just look at some stats just to get a familiarity of what's happened. So Reading, Bristol City, what have we seen? 8 shots to 2 for Reading, bloody hell, but only 1 on target, right. It's looking like a classic wasteful 2 teams going up against each other here. More possession for Bristol City, but that's not really saying a lot. It looks like Bristol City have barely played their game at all, which is disappointing on their part. Stoke Coventry, another 0-0. Let's see stats. 7 shots to 3, but 0 on target each. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that game. It feels like both teams, again, being even more wasteful than both Reading and Bristol City have been. 6 shots to 1 there, 2 block shots to 1. Hitting the woodwork. So Stoke have hit the woodwork, but that's pretty much the only time they've gone close by the sounds of things. Nothing else too noteworthy there. The other 0-0 is Middlesbrough and Huddersfield. 5 shots to 4, 2 shots on target each. So this one's been a bit more open. 2 shots on target to 1, 3 corners to 2. So, okay, it's looking pretty even there at the moment. And 50% of possession too. So that one might be an entertaining 0-0 draw for looking how equal it has been. Rotherham and Hull, 1-1 still. So Hull with more possession and slightly more shots. Way more shots on target as well. But Rotherham managed to have a second shot on target, getting their only goal. 3 shots on target to 2 there. 5 corners to Hull. 1 counter-attack from Hull City. Maybe they've scored from the counter-attack now, I don't know. Looks like second half's about to start. So Blackburn, Birmingham, we already looked at the stats, 7 shots to 2. So yeah, Blackburn have literally scored with only 2 shots. Just goes to show how clinical Blackburn have been all season. QPR and Wigan, 7 shots to 5, 3 shots to 1. Yeah, it's looking pretty comfortable that QPR have been the better side currently within this game. Millwall and West Brom, 9 shots to 3. That's pretty one-sided, although 1 shot on target each, which has been both of their goals. So what Millwall need to work on is then being more clinical. West Brom just need to be in the game a bit more, having more of the ball, but not creating much from it. Sunderland and Burnley having more of the ball, but 0 shots on target, and Sunderland having 3 shots and 3 shots on target as well. 2 of those shots becoming goals. So Very similar to the Blackburn effect, not having too much of the ball, but when they do have it, breaking the play and being very, very clinical with it. And for Sheffield United and Norwich, close with possession, equal amount of shots, but way more on target for Norwich. So Norwich looking way better and looking a lot more clinical than what Sheffield United have been, and that has been the main difference in that one. Goal in League One already within their games kicking off again, and it's gone to Accrington Stanley against Bolton. This is a poor defeat for Bolton if they do lose out, and a big opportunity missed for the fact that Barnsley are losing their game to bottom of the league Morecambe. An own goal by Josh Johnston puts Accrington Stanley in a great position. It puts them on 19 points. Originally, they were down in 18th. So, very crucial win for Accrington Stanley if they do manage to hold on here. No other goals in the Prem and the Championship. And, yep, I think we can safely say second half is now started. Let's see what we get in terms of results. They're just playing some more advertisements at this moment of time. Not much commentary at the moment. I always feel tired. I had an early night's sleep as well, but and I still need to catch up on my predictions as well. It's just never have a free break anymore. And what I do got to do is start studying as well. I may have mentioned it yesterday, but I've now officially booked my first exam, so it's going to make things very nervy. And I've got to somehow find the time to be completely ready to take it. Right, let's get the headphones back on because they're going to be needed. Always look like a DJ when I wear these headphones. And I can barely hear myself as well. So it's always very, very awkward for me to talk with these headphones on it. I could be shouting right now to try and hear myself speak. But I'm going to try and use my headphones a little bit more. I just don't bother using it because I can use it to listen to some important information that I might not get. I mean, at this moment, what they're talking about is the upset at Ibrox for the fact that they're 1-0 down Rangers at least to Livingston, which would be a huge upset for them there. Southend 2-0 up against Scunthorpe. Big goal for Scunthorpe. Not Scunthorpe, Southend, sorry. Let's just quickly capture up. I think we've got a couple more goals because my phone is going absolutely ballistic at this moment. There's been definitely some goals. So, yeah, 2-0 to Southend. Jack Hyde with the goal. Right, a goal in the Championship. Let's go first to... Well, there's been another goal there, but what I was going to go was this one here. Madamu Luam scores for Reading to make it 1-0. Based on the stats we saw, it looks really well deserved. But one thing that was a bit equal was Stoke and Coventry. So the two of the 3 0-0 games at half-time have now already got a goal in the second half. Jamie Allen scores for Coventry to make it 1-0. And that will be 4 wins in 6. And now put Coventry only 1 point of safety. If Middlesbrough lose their game, then Coventry will be out of the bottom 3, which is incredible. And big goal in League 2. Crawley have turned it around against Mansfield. So it definitely really puts some relief for Crawley now. Nadesan has scored again to make it 3-2. And that will put Crawley on 12 points. But apparently Stoke have dominated. I'm just hearing the commentary now. Stoke have dominated and Coventry have barely... Gatsby, where are you going? Don't go. Please don't go. He's gone. Oh dear. Yeah, so Darraj, you'll be happy. Yeah, Coventry won up, barely being this game. But Jamie Allen has scored to make it 1-0 to the Sky Blues. What a result that's going to turn out to be at the moment. Blackpool plays Coventry next. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting game. That will be a very interesting game indeed. I think I remember you asking me, like, what's the most realistic points you can get? Oh, now, interesting. We've got a third goal at the Memorial Stadium, which is Bristol Rovers' ground. It's now 2-1. Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday will be hoping that Plymouth will drop points. And it's made it quite interesting here because Bristol Rovers have already managed to halve their deadlock here. And another goal is that Oxford have also reduced their deficit. And that will also make Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich happy as well. So Bristol Rovers, their goal scorer is Josh Coburn. Loan from Middlesbrough, Josh Coburn, to make it 2-1. Also, so the third goal here is gone to Oxford there. They've halved their deficit. Don't know who scored yet because they won't tell me. In fact, now they will. Billy Bodin, on loan from Preston. I don't know if it's a loan or a permanent deal, but a former Preston player at least, makes it 2-1. And that'll make things more hopeful for Oxford in that part. Okay, then. So we're going to get things very, very interesting going forward here. No other goals in the Championship by the looks of things. The only game that's still 0-0 is Middlesbrough-Huddersfield. Coventry will be relieved to know that they are like marginally, like this close for getting out of the bottom three. They will be relieved. And now they're averaging more than a point a game, which they'll be even more ecstatic about. Jack looks like... Oh, okay. We've got another goal at the Etihad. It's 2-1. Brighton have halved their deficit. Leonardo Trossard scores for Brighton. That makes things very interesting now. Not as one-sided as we thought. Equalising goal for Wrexham. Although I said that, Boreham Wood have already taken the lead back. They're outdoing Wrexham at their own game, which is getting basically outscoring the other team. Boreham Wood now really starting to make things tricky for Wrexham. Goal in the Stadium of Light as well. Sunderland, who were 2-0 up, have now conceded one back. Burnley have a chance to get back into this. Nathan Teller with the goal and Harwood Bellis with the assist. If Burnley recover from this, then they are proving to be the real deal for me this season. So yeah, Stoke losing at the moment will be on 19 points. And yeah, Coventry 22nd with this current win on their belts. Reading with their current win will put them back in the top 6, overtaking Luton, although they do have a game in hand, Luton. And Bristol City will be 13th place. It does sound like that Burnley are playing much, much better there. Yeah, I've talked about Burnley scoring. I've talked about Bournemouth scoring. Who I didn't talk about, Wallace and Gorman fan, is Bolton. They have indeed got one back, Bolton. It is 2-1. I don't know who scored it because they won't tell me, and neither is Sky. Sky's not told me either. But that is a very quick goal. Wallace and Gorman fan, you're proving to be a really good video printer. You're getting the score lines before any other of, you know, Sky Sports and SofaScore. You even beating them to there. Is an own goal by Harvey Rogers. Could that be proving a very costly moment for Accrington Stanley? So again, a lot of 2-1s now. Looks like Brighton are trying to make a game out of this now, which fair play to them, honestly. You know, they got an away draw against Liverpool. Could they get an away draw against Man City? Who knows? Jack is not happy with Bakuna. It sounds like Birmingham are being very wasteful here. Right, I think we can go back to this. Is there a link between Huddersfield and MK Dons? Well, in terms of players, Kasumu's moved from MK Dons to Huddersfield at this moment of time. And apparently Norwich have missed a golden chance to make it 3-0. We need to update the scores because we've got a couple of very early second half goals. I'll be very interested to know what Matt's feeling right now to think that Coventry are so close to getting out in the bottom three finally. It's now 2-1 there between City and Brighton. 1-0 Reading against Bristol City. And 1-0 Coventry against Stoke City. And it's 2-1 to Sunderland now rather than 2-0. Three-one to Leyton Orient, going to the point where I'm not going to quite bother with League Two all that much unless it's like Colchester or like a really big game. Leyton Orient make it 3-1. Aaron Drinnen scores to make it 3-1 to Leyton Orient. Carlisle down to 10 men. Goal! At Melbourne Stadium. Goal, 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 goal. Chelmsford take the lead against Hemel Hempstead. Literally comes in seconds ago. And it is Jackson, Simeon Jackson, who scores, I think, from the penalty. Yeah, a penalty to Chelmsford. And Simeon Jackson scores to make it 1-0. More goals come in as I'm talking about that. Bromley equalised against Chesterfield to make it 1-1. But the game I'm going to show you first is Rotherham and Hull. And Hull have ruined my prediction here because I've gone for 2-1 Rotherham. Not 2-1 Hull. Hull looks like they're going to get back-to-back away wins. And Cyrus Christie looks like he's got the goal for Hull City here. That will put Hull back in 16th, overtaking Stoke City. And Rotherham will still be 12th place at the moment there. Oh, now Matt Taylor for Oxford City, United, not Oxford City. Oxford United has been sent off. So that I was saying that Oxford could have a chance to get back into it as Marcus Brown assisted Billy Bowden. But Matty Taylor down to 10 men. It could give Peterborough a bit of a lifeline and could make them secure the lead that they currently have. A lot of the game is entering the 60th minute now, so half an hour left for most of this, most of the teams in this game so far. Huddersfield and MK Dons were very good last season, but now in the relegation zone. Yeah, they are really. And the difference is that I'm seeing is that Huddersfield have got a change in manager, but MK Dons still got the same manager. It tells me if you take Scott Twine out of that team, then what do MK Dons have? I mean, MK Dons, I think they lost Kasumu as well. They lost quite a few players, to be fair, so I do sympathise with them slightly. But I didn't expect them to drop so much to the point where they're looking like that they are going to look like a realistic option to be going down. Equalising goal for Tranmere against Harrogate to make it 1-1. Jordan Turnbull with the goal. We need to change some more scores as Hull have got a second goal. So I think that's the only other game I need to change. Need to close my door since Gatsby's opened it to the widest capacity as he could. Okay, back to business, no distractions. See, I'm sorry, I can even hear noise with my headphones on, which is saying absolutely everything. So, small break in Soccer Saturday. Let's try and digest all of this. So, Coventry looking like that they are closing in of getting out of the relegation zone. Burnley could maybe start making a comeback. Reading ahead against Bristol City. And that's pretty much been the story for Hull have retaken the lead against Rotherham as well. So, yeah, a couple of good goals and good moments in this second half at the moment there. Just need Mill and Burnley to score to get me 2 perfect scores. Now then, Mill, if they score, they do salvage 1 point. But now, I'm not too sure if I want that, to be honest. I need QPR and Wigan to stay the same. Is there anything that could be salvaged? Not really, to be honest. Bristol City, if they can be a comeback, they could get something. I've got no hope with many of the other games. Stoke, if they score, will give me a perfect score. So, right. All I want is Bristol City to complete a comeback and Stoke to score. That would be more than enough for me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get the Birmingham score right. The Middlesbrough Huddersfield score, I think, is going to be long gone. I predicted 3-1 for that game. What else could be salvaged? I don't know, to be honest. So, yeah, Blackburn and Birmingham, I've got no hope. Middlesbrough and Huddersfield, I've got no hope. Millwall and West Brom, yeah, I would really want one goal, but knowing that's going to help Huddersfield, I'm not too sure. QPR Wigan stay the same. Bristol City, I need a comeback from them. Rotherham, I need a comeback. Sheffield United, I need them to draw, but that's not going to happen. Stoke, just 1 goal. I think one. You see, I would have wanted a Burnley goal as well because I did a 1-1 draw, but God, Watson Gromit fan just literally making things difficult for me for my predictions. Right. I've got a reason to be a little bit happier. I don't even know how many points I've got so far. I mean, I've definitely got 3 from QPR and Wigan at this moment. But any of the other games, I don't know. I don't even know if I've even picked up any more points. Big goal in League One. Need to show this right now. Huge goal. We've got a huge goal alert. We need a siren or something to signify a big goal. Or a sound effect. Bristol Rovers have now completely turned it around. 2-2. Aaron Collins scores. Now that is really going to make Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday celebrate that. So a draw will put Plymouth on 35 points, as you see now. And Ipswich will close the gap on them. And the gap will remain the same between Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth. That will be a huge result. York, despite going down to 10 men, have equalised against Aldershot, which is a really good result for them at the moment. Still 1-0 to Chelmsford against Hemel Hempstead. Chelmsford really need to hold on here. Maybe a consolation goal for Sheffield United. They've just scored just now for Ben Osborne. That makes it 2-1. And I said I wanted Stoke to score, not the other team. Coventry, they've now ended any hope for Stoke. It's 2-0. Or what can I say? Just, I can't predict. And I'm going to blame the fact that I just cannot research these games anymore. I have to do these videos the night before as well. So I am having a lot of excuses for my full-time work, but you know, I can make those excuses. There is a third goal for Hull, but I want to know who scored for Coventry. Is it Callum O'Hare? Wait, no, it's not a suspension. Wait. It's Gustavo Hamer with an absolute incredible strike. I should have guessed it was Callum O'Hare from the suspension. Right, well, Wallace and Gromit fan will be happy because Burnley have made it 2-2. But Hull 3-1 up now. Ryan Longman, who was the lone striker for Hull, proving to be pretty much the right option right now in terms of their attacking play right now. And yeah, Wallace and Gromit fan will be pleased to hear this. 2-2 now. But there is another goal at Goodison Park also. Everton now 2-0 up against Crystal Palace. It is looking very comfortable for them now. It looks like that they will secure 3 points against the London team. And Everton, for this 2-0 up now overtake Crystal Palace in the table entirely. It's Manuel Benson, by the way, who scores the equalising goal for Burnley. So that'll be the only time that Wallace Gordon fan will appreciate Burnley. Chesterfield have now retaken the lead against Bromley. If it can refresh for me, please. Wait, so it's 1-1. Why did it say 2-1 there to Boreham Wood? I don't know why, but okay. Apparently it's 1-1 between Boreham and Wrexham there. But Chesterfield 2-1 up now against Bromley. That's a big result for them. And yeah, Wrexham would still be preferring to get a win, because that will still put them only 1 point behind Notts County. Any point right now is crucial for them there. But I don't know why they've cut to Paul Merson, because they're not showing anything right now. I don't know what they're doing. Okay, well, still 2-0, but I don't know what's happened. Still 0-0 between Middlesbrough and Huddersfield. That's the only championship game that's now 0-0. And Shrewsbury and Charlton, I believe, is the only game nil. In fact, no, we've got a couple of nil-nils actually. While they're back in the Memorial Stadium. So they're talking about the second. Well, they're talking about the equaliser goal, but I thought they've already talked about that actually. I thought we were going to get a moment where Bristol Rovers were going to completely turn it around and make it 3-2. Wimbledon have scored again against Rochdale to make it 2-0. That really puts Rochdale back in the mix with their poor goal difference there. Yeah, really back in the mixer here. Yeah, one of the results of the weekend would definitely go to Coventry. The second goal for Everton, by the way, was scored by Anthony Gordon. I think it was VAR. That's why they cut to Merson there. But VAR has officially awarded the goal, and it has been awarded to Anthony Gordon. Liverpool losing, Coventry winning. I just need Chelsea to win, and today is a great day. Honestly, I've got a lot of things that I like. I mean, apart from the prediction league, there's a lot of things that I like. I like Chelsea winning. Ipswich winning has been nice. And yeah, Chelsea winning, would really make it fantastic. So wait, no, let me get this straight. What is going on? Is Sunderland and Burnley the only correct score you're going to get at this moment in time? I mean, if so, then fair play to you. Because honestly, I'm still just thinking to my mind, thinking just to even get one correct score is just crucial enough. I'm really going to keep my eye on Man City Brighton, If Brighton can get something, it'll make Arsenal very happy. I mean, look at them there. Arsenal, Man City currently will be 1 point behind them, but they have played a game more. And if they draw, then Arsenal could be 6 points clear, which is crazy for me to think of that. Rochdale closed the gap. Tyree Sinclair makes it 2-1. In fact, I need to check. Is Scott Sinclair playing for Bristol Rovers? Charlton have made it 1-0, by the way. So no longer a 0-0 game between Shrewsbury and Charlton. That's a bit of a mid-table clash, although Charlton, with this current 3 points, now enter the top 6 for the first time this season. Incredible. What a turnaround it's been for Charlton. They've taken advantage of Barnsley and Bolton both losing currently in their games. Shrewsbury, with that defeat, puts them in 9th place, just ahead of Derby County, who have already played yesterday against Ipswich. But I think the two other ones, Burton, Cheltenham and Cambridge Port Vale, they are all still 0-0 scorelines. But there's been no other goals for me to comment on. So, got a small break of doing goals, actually. Is Solihull Moors 2-0 up now? Okay, so the Charlton goal scorer, by the way, is Jesserin Raksaki. He scores for Charlton. I'm doing my best to try and pronounce all these names. So if I don't pronounce any names correctly, I do apologise. I just don't know half the time with these names. Right, need to change the Sheffield United score. Need to change the Hull score. It's 3-1. And need to change the Coventry score and the Burnley score. We've actually got quite a few goals in the second half. Coventry lost my perfect game when they scored that second goal. Oh, did they? Oh, right. Fair enough. Yeah. If you predicted 1-0 Coventry, bold, but fair play. Apparently a Bolton equaliser. I need to look at that, actually. And that might put Bolton back in the top 6. It might do. I don't know if they've got a better goal difference than Charlton there, but it'll be joint on points for them now. So let's just see. Yeah, it is an equalising goal. It's just popped up on the soccer special. 2-2, and it's Kieran Lee who scores that equaliser for Bolton. And yeah, just scoring that, having that early own goal, I should say. I did question whether that might be costly, and it turns out it was very costly indeed. Because now Bolton are back up to 7th, not quite in the top 6 yet, since Charlton are still winning their games, and that will be 3 wins in a row currently for Charlton if they do hold on to this result. But it is a bit of a lifeline for Bolton, because if they win, they will return back into the top 6. No other goals in the Championship. No other goals in the Premier League either. Let's catch up with some comments. Blackburn are acting all scary and hard. Well, they're a very physical team, Blackburn. I watched it in their watch-along against Wigan. Really, that was one of the main things I remember from Blackburn, being very physical. But, yeah, they can get frustrated. But if they score and they are clinical, then they're an awful team, Blackburn, to try and overtake. They're going to Sherwood. Maybe a goal? No goal. Still 2-1 Manchester City. It will be very interesting to see if Man City drop points. Could give Man United or Chelsea a chance to close the gap on them. That's right. Manchester United and Chelsea is later today. Not looking forward to watching that game, honestly. Wealdstone did have a goal, equalising goal against Dorking, but Dorking have now got that lead restored. Wow, what an incredible game we've had at Bramall Lane. I've just seen it. 2-2. So Norwich were 2-0 up, but now Sheffield United have completely turned it around. And that will salvage 1 point for my prediction league because I predicted 1-1 rather than 2-2. I would take that personally. I think I would actually take that. Wow. What a moment that's turned out to be. A game of two halves by the sounds of things. Still no goals there, but there is a goal. And obviously it's 2-2. I don't know who scored it. It won't tell me who scored the Sheffield United goal yet, but I will be waiting very patiently. Morecambe still beating Barnsley. Bloody hell, that would be a huge result for them if they can hold on. Morecambe 22nd currently if they do hold on for that as well. Oxford looking in utter peril if they don't get a result against Peterborough. Oliver McBurney scores. So he's the goal scorer there. Oh my God, goal. The 5th goal at the Stadium of Light. Burnley are the real deal. It's confirmed. Burnley are the real deal. Completing a 3-goal comeback against Sunderland. Absolutely incredible. Right. So it's 3-2 to Burnley. I don't know who scored it because it won't tell me. Jack Hyde scores for Southend again to make it 3-0. They've cut to Tim Sherwood. I don't know why. Incredible. Bolton have turned it around as well. Oladapo Afolayan scores for Bolton to make it 3-2. What a game this has turned out to be. If Fogden's travelled all the way to Accrington, fair play to him because that is an incredible result for Bolton currently. They've completely turned it around. But so have Burnley, another team up north who have turned it around. Anas Zarouai, who was also on the score sheet for Burnley quite recently in their midweek game. He has scored again to make it 3-2, and that is a 5-goal thriller. And Burnley now back in the conversation at the top of the championship. Only 1 point now between them and Blackburn and QPR. Apparently there was a goal at Millwall, but it's still... Millwall's goal was cancelled. Oh, I don't know what happened. What happened to the Millwall goal? Outside the ground, they'll do nothing at the moment there. Yeah, well, I've seen it. You know what? When I went to Barnsley, they've got some buy. They've got, when Barnsley went to Portman Road, they have got some buy. They definitely had more fight for what Lincoln had. Colchester were just being annoying, which is... I'm not surprised, because Colchester fans literally took it literally. I remember walking across the bridge that connects the station to the stadium, and they were literally making chants about the police. And I was just laughing. In my mind, I was thinking, this is what I love. This is what I love about football fans and just the football hooliganism in general. Let's change the scores. So, to talk through what's happened. In fact, I've not updated the Everton game, yeah? Please don't tell me that there's going to be a goal between QPR and Wigan. JD Dyer, stop talking. Anyway, 2-0 to Everton. And yeah, nothing changed here. Still 1-1 between Millwall and West Brom. 2-1 there. And yeah, the big changes really is Sheffield United equalising and Burnley taking the lead. Wow. Any more goals? Okay, looks like Man City have made it 3-1. I'm surprised that Soccer Sunday have not talked about yet. Yeah. But it does look like it's 3-1. Is it Haaland to completely confirm the points I'm going to get on my fantasy? No, it's De Bruyne, who I really want in my fantasy league as well, but I just couldn't afford him, unfortunately, there. I hope it's going to be an assist for Haaland or maybe Gundogan. I don't know. I need Gundogan to go onto the pitch. Has he been subbed on? Please tell me he's been subbed on. I'll put Gundogan on the pitch, Pep, for Christ's sake. Honestly, my fantasy team's going to be in tatters. But yeah, no other goals in the championship that I've seen. League One, anything there? A very bad game at Riverside Stadium, apparently. We were actually having some rare commentary on this game. Right, in terms of League One, no other goals. In fact, we're having a small break in goals at the moment. Oldham 2-0 up against Yeovil. And it's, yeah, still a draw between Borough and Wrexham. Wrexham really need to try and find something now. Still 1-0 to Chelmsford, but they're holding on. I'm just waiting to see. No other goals. Right, let's go back to this. Yeah, these 3 PM streams never really tend to draw many viewers in, unfortunately. It does make me question that maybe I could just maybe have time off. Right, I actually need to react to the Chelsea squad because the lineups have been announced. Hang on a minute, guys. Let me just show you this. 10 minutes left to most of these games now, so we're approaching the final part of this games now. Chesterfield 3-1 up against Bromley now. Tishamanga scores the penalty to make it 3-1. Lineups look like this. Here's Chelsea's. You've got Arrizabalaga, Chalobah, Silva, Cucurella. You've got Azpilicueta, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Ben Chilwell. Then you've got Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling, and Aubameyang. For Manchester United, you've got De Gea, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Delot, Casemiro, Eriksen, Sancho, Fernandes, Antony, and Rashford. That's not quite a surprise to me. Maybe a small comeback for Birmingham. It's now 2-1 in that game. Scott Hogan makes it 2-1. Finally now getting on the score sheet there. So Blackburn now not looking as secure as they were. If Blackburn do drop points, then Burnley will overtake them and they will steal second place off them here. Apparently there's been goals being ruled out. Deeney, since he's come on, has been qualities. And, yep, Jack has celebrated that goal. I'm not surprised. I don't blame you, really. You know, get carried away in the moment. Right, let's update that. So, Blackburn 2, Birmingham 1. You can see it now. What is going to happen in this final 10 minutes? They're VARing something at Ibrox. I don't know what, though. I think a potential red card for Livingston, for what I see. So they're talking about the Chelsea squad now. I did just show you the Chelsea squad. I will show it again in case anyone needs to do. Sheffield United could give me another point, and Mill needs to score to get that goal back. Wait, so have you got any correct scores so far, Wallace Gromit fan? Doncaster have equalised and made it 1-1 between them and Crewe Alexandra. Blackburn versus Birmingham. Oh, you got the Blackburn-Birmingham score. Ah, right, okay. Well, then a goal in that game then definitely would make things quite difficult. Although that's for me with QPR and Wigan right now. That is really on a knife's edge for me. Stockport score to make it 2-0. It looks like they will secure a win against Salford. A Middlesbrough goal will salvage me a point, but at this moment, I've not got a lot of hope. Unless Sunderland get an equalising goal, I can get one goal back. I've got 1 point with Sheffield United. Yeah, it's looking very, very tight. It's looking very, very close. I'm also just keeping a close eye on Chelmsford as well. I'm always a bit nervy when we're 1-0 up, but we don't typically keep many clean sheets. Yeah, Bristol Rovers and Plymouth, sorry, still 2-2. Big game this has turned out to be, actually. Could be a big moment in terms of the title race in League One. And yeah, we're completely up to date in all of the leagues now. Lost the Burnley score. Yeah, I mean, I lost the Burnley score as soon as Sunderland scored. 2, to be honest. Jack really wants Birmingham to win 3-2. Sutton 1-0 up against Walsall. Finally, Walsall being down to 10 and for a lot of the game. And finally, Sutton have taken advantage with the extra man on the field. And it's from the penalty spot as well. Rob Milson, 72nd minute, scoring from the spot. Burton score a late goal against Cheltenham in the 77th minute. That might be a really big 3 points there. Let's see what that means for the League One relegation part. So, yeah, 1-0 Burton. Victor Adebayo scores. And that puts Burton in 21st place. Only 2 points behind the team they're playing against right now, which is Cheltenham, actually. Morecambe, who were 22nd, will now fall down to 23rd. Forest Green are losing to Portsmouth at this moment. So, yeah, all of these teams losing, apart from, I mean, obviously Burton and Morecambe winning. MK Dons bottom, I've just noticed. MK Dons bottom of League One. Oh my God. 10 defeats. That has to spur the end for Liam Allen. I'm sorry. How are they keeping him when you're seeing stuff like this? Maybe I'm being a bit negative, but how can you? How can you back someone that's making you bottom of the league? Honestly. It's not looking like he's going to improve anytime soon either. It looks like, yeah, 3-2 now between Chesterfield and Bromley. But, yeah, Wrexham are going to leave it late again. See if they can get something against Boreham Wood there. On subscribers, we're still 1515. If you guys have not hit the subscribe button, please do so. It really does help the growth of the channel when you do so. Struggling a little bit for growth quite recently, but for everyone who's here today, thank you at least for taking the time. Less than 10 minutes to go in Melbourne. Still 1-0 Chelmsford, although it is not comfortable. Never is. We're approaching the final 5 minutes in most of these games. And the final game that was 0-0 in the League One is no longer 0-0 since Port Vale have taken the lead against Cambridge, who are exactly who I believe Ipswich have to play next. They play Port Vale next, and it is Paul Digby, an own goal for Cambridge, makes Port Vale 1-0 up, and that will put them in 14th place. Correct me. It will put Port Vale in 14th place and a decent position in the table. But look at Cambridge's form, though. From doing so well, that would be 5 consecutive defeats for Cambridge there. So I'd be a bit worried for them if I was a Cambridge United fan, honestly. This is an incredible result. For Burnley to overturn a 2-goal comeback like that is incredible. Oh, now an interesting goal in League 2, actually. Stevenage, who did get the equalising goal. We talked about the Stockport goal already. But Stevenage, who are trying to chase down Leyton Orient at the top of the league, they have now conceded in the worst possible time for them. Northampton have... Oh, but in fact, it's now 2-2. It's incredible, honestly. They've just caught it live. So, yeah, that draw makes it still 33 points. Stevenage just refused to be knocked down. So, I've got to say, Stevenage have just... They've completely changed their attitude. And they really have turned it around. And what a win this has turned out to be for Everton. 3-0 to them against Crystal Palace. I don't think many people predicted this. But fair play, Dwight McNeil, their new signing, makes it 3-0 and game over for Crystal Palace. What a header, but good save by yeah, Kaminsky is a good goalkeeper. Solihull Moors 3-0 up now against Eastleigh. Still 1-0 Chelmsford. My God. Heart is just going like this. Honestly. Any more goals in League One? That was going to interest me. We've already talked about... I mean, that's an incredible game as well. Bolton to overturn a comeback like that as well. 3-2. Incredible. That own goal from Accrington Stanley at the start of the second half. Oh, is it a penalty to Norwich? I think Norwich have got a penalty here. Right. This will lose me a point in the prediction league if Norwich score this. Right. This could be a hat-trick for Pukki if he scores from the spot. What a save! Adam Davies saves the penalty. Wow. Sargent and Pukki having a bit of a fight about who taking the penalty. Pukki wanted to take it, but it's a save. It is a save by Adam Davies, who had a very poor rating, but his rating will go back up with that penalty save. 2-2. Chris Boyd sounding quite frustrated with Rangers here, and why wouldn't you? We're getting into the final couple of minutes in most of these games now. I'm still keeping my eye on this one. If Plymouth can somehow drop even more points than what they have done already, this will be a big, big result for many of these teams. This feels a repeat of last season when Everton won themselves from relegation. Yeah, it kind of feels like that when they've just been surviving. Incredible. Again, another goal at the Lamex Stadium between Stevenage and Northampton. And it feels like Northampton have sealed it now. Sean McWilliams in the 87th minute. Pinnock with the assist. 3-2 Northampton. Right, we're going to start getting some full times now, which I will be keeping my eye on there. Scottish Cup is gaining a couple of here. Gateshead gets one back against Woking. I think we've got a red card at the Den, I think. Carl Bartley, I think, has just been sent off. Yeah. Carl Bartley has been sent off. 4-1 to Hull. Wow, what a moment that's turned out to be. So yeah, red card for West Brom and a fourth goal for Hull, who have completely demolished Rotherham, who I actually said had the best defence in the league. Stop it, JD Dyer. I want it to stay 2-1 QPR. I need a correct score. Ozan Tufan makes it 4-1 to Hull. What a scoreline that's turned out to be. How many people predicted 4-1 Hull? I'm just listening to the commentary there. Stop it. Take it away from Loftus Road. It needs to stay that way. So apparently Wigan hit the crossbar. I can't bear this. 4-2 Burnley. It looks like that they've got a bit more breathing space now. And a second goal for Reading. They've comfortably beaten Bristol City now. I've got to say, Reading, I've been completely wrong about you here. Fair play to you. Bristol City just proving to be once again inconsistent as they have been. It is 2-0 to Reading, which will put Reading in the top 6. And they'll just have to hope that Luton don't win their game tomorrow against Watford, because then they'll stay there for this weekend. Josh Brownhill scores. Honestly, what a game, what a change in the game we've seen. So Andy Carroll, sorry, has scored for Reading, and Josh Brownhill has scored for Burnley. So many goals to already try and digest. I don't think we've seen any game in the Championship going to full time yet, but we should see some going pretty soon. Both Premier League games are reaching the 90-plus minute now. We should be expecting... I mean, how are literally nothing happening with Newport Colchester, but it's still 1-0 down. Yeah, I've just heard about the Reading score there. Okay, all right, Chelsea the one. They're 2-0 up, 83rd minute. Charlie Ruff, who's done incredibly well. A real breakout performance this season so far from Charlie Ruff. Makes it 2-0, and I think Chelmsford have secured it now. They're going to have to really throw it away now, Chelmsford, if they're not going to win this. Oh, Rangers have got an equalising goal. They've got an equalising goal, Rangers. They might have secured a point. Probably a bit fortunate. Right, the first full time in the Championship, Stoke and Coventry. It has ended 2-0 to Coventry. What a turnaround this has turned out to be for Coventry. Literally touching distance from getting out of the bottom three. West Brom second from bottom right now. John Lundstrom scores to make it 1-1. Exeter have completely turned it around against Fleetwood, who were behind for most of that game, but Sam Nombe, that's how you say it. So Exeter, with this 3 points now, that shoots them back right up into 8th place. Exeter taking League One by storm, and fair play to them. They really have made a great impression with their first appearance in League One for over 10 years. They're VARing Lundstrom's goal, but I think it has been given. 7 minutes of added time at Ibrox. Blackburn 2, Birmingham 1. So what is going on? There's your 3 points. Blackburn 2, Birmingham 1. It's ended like that. And apparently Sheffield United nearly get that third goal. My God, it's been a really good game actually between Sheffield United and Norwich. But end-to-end stuff. Rotherham managed to get something back. Oh my God, Wallace & Gromit fan will be cheering. It's despair. Well, it's 1 point salvaged, but it's 3 more gained from Wallace & Gromit fan, as Millwall do beat West Brom by 2-1. Tyler Burry scores. And that puts Millwall in 5th place. Incredible season so far for Millwall. That will be 4 straight wins for Millwall. And it's annoying because I did predict a Millwall win as well, but not a 2-1. I give up, honestly. I honestly give up. I've had a good start on my predictions, but it's been absolutely down the toilet. Wrexham, by the way, have drawn against Boreham Wood. They have not been able to pick up 3 points, and that's a good result for Notts County and Chesterfield, who closed... Well, Notts County extend their lead, and Chesterfield close the gap. Wrexham, it's all going wrong for them now. Everton 3, Palace 0. It has ended, and I think it's going to end for a Man City win. All I ask now is that it ends 2-1 QPR. I think that's the only fair thing from that. I mean, I've got a point from Millwall, and I got a point from Sheffield United and Norwich. It's ended 0-0 between Middlesbrough and Huddersfield there. 0-0 it's ended. A lack of quality from both sides by the sounds of things in that game. Forest Green 0, Portsmouth 1, it's ended. Wycombe 1, MK Dons 0, it's ended as well. That is 5 consecutive defeats for MK Dons, which keeps them down in the bottom of League One. Still 2-2 between Bristol Rovers and Plymouth. I'm just listening to potentially more things happening. Walsall get a late equaliser against Sutton despite being down to 10 men for most of this game. They might salvage something here. Charlton secure their 3 points, and that will put Charlton in just outside the top 6 because, of course, Bolton managed to get that comeback against Accrington Stanley. But Charlton just outside the top 6 now, and they've really have started to improve now, Charlton, with their consistency there. Blue Terry says he'll take a point. I'm just looking at more things, trying to go back to the championship. So yeah, 16 points Coventry find themselves there. Cardiff 21st. I did mention the next manager to be sacked. I mentioned Steve Morrison has got to be very careful. Bolton have held on. It is a 3-2 win to Bolton. Stockport have won 2-0 against Salford. Please. No, stop it. Right, thank you. Bloody hell. Anytime I cut to JD Dyer, I was so bloody nervous. Right, Sheffield United and Norwich has ended 2-2. And now it's ended QPR 2, Wigan 1. They really wanted Wigan to try and get something from that game. But it has ended full time in those games. What do we have left in terms of championship games now? The only games still playing now are Sunderland Burnley and Millwall West Brom. But we can start looking at the table since, unless West Brom equalise, I don't see anything changing. QPR stay top of the table with 30 points. Blackburn win again. That is 3 wins in a row for Blackburn to put them on 30 points. Burnley also continue their long unbeaten run on 29 points. Sheffield United with a draw against Norwich. They'll be on 26. Millwall with 4 wins in a row will be on 26 points. But that's if West Brom don't get an equalising goal. Norwich, with that draw, it stops their losing streak, but it puts them on 25 points, but 6th place. Reading, despite winning, they do fall just outside of the top 6. Burnley 4, Sunderland 2 has just been concluded there. God, excuse me. Luton 8th, but can go into the top 6 with a good result against Watford tomorrow. Swansea also 24th, but 24 points, but can also enter the top 6 with a good result against Cardiff. Preston with a 4-2 humiliating defeat to Blackpool find themselves in 10th with 14 goals conceded now. Rotherham 21 points now, but a defeat on their part. Bristol Rovers 2, Plymouth 2, it has ended. And what a big moment that could be. Their winning streak has ended, Plymouth, and that's a big, big moment for Sheffield Wednesday and especially Ipswich, who now closed the gap on them. Bristol City, a defeat for them, puts them on 12 points. Newport have officially beaten Colchester by 1-0. Sunderland with a defeat, 13th place with a 6th defeat of the season. Birmingham with a defeat. Watford still yet to play, bound in 15th. Hull with a great win. Back-to-back wins for Hull now. Puts them in 16th place, with 20 points. And it looks a little bit better for Hull now. Stoke with back-to-back defeats on 19 points, 17th place. Millwall West Brom has officially ended, so there's been no change in the table in the last couple of minutes. So what you're seeing in the table now is what the official table is going to be. So yeah, Blackpool with that win, now getting a bit of breathing space from the bottom 3 on 19 points. Wigan with another defeat, their 4th defeat in 5, falling down the table just a tiny bit. Middlesbrough with a draw puts them on 18 points. Cardiff, they're still yet to play, but they're in jeopardy right now because they're only 2 points ahead of Coventry with 2 games in hand and only 2 points of safety. Coventry I've got to be honest, have really turned this around. 3 consecutive wins for them there. West Brom with another defeat, which wasn't helped by Carl Bartley picking up 2 yellow cards. 14 points in 23rd place. And Huddersfield still rooted to the bottom of the championship. For the Premier League, Man City stays second with a win over Brighton. Brighton fall down to 8th with that defeat. Everton now overtake Crystal Palace with that win, a 3-0 defeat win, actually. So, fair play to Everton there. The last thing I'm going to do before I go, preview the Chelsea and Manchester United teams, since they'll be kicking off in half an hour's time. Kepa in goal with Chalobah, Silva, Cucurella. You've got Azpilicueta, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho and Chilwell there. Mason Mount, Sterling and Aubameyang up front. Man United, you've got De Gea, Shaw, Martinez, Varane and Deloge back five. You've got Casemiro and Eriksen, probably the best midfield two they can get. Sancho, Fernandes and Anthony and Marcus Rashford up front. He's got a good record, Rashford, against us as well, so I'm a bit nervy about that. Never thought there'd be 3-4-2 games. Yeah, well, honestly, I think we've got to be a bit more creative with our goals, with our predictions, honestly. We've really got to. Right, let's actually update all of the games so you guys can see the final results ticking away. It's ended 3-0 Everton and 3-1 Man City. 2-1 Blackburn, 0-0 between Middlesbrough and Huddersfield. Millwall got that late winner after 41-0 down to John Swift. Reading have ended 2-0. Hull and Rotherham have ended 4-2. Sheffield United and Norwich has ended 2-2. Stoke Coventry 2-0. And also 4-2 between Sunderland and Burnley. Am I going to stream the Burnley-Norwich match? I will think about it, but I definitely want to. Leghorn Henry is still happy about Forest winning against Liverpool. I'm not surprised. We still weren't good enough. Yeah, I still think Huddersfield are still way below par, unfortunately, on their part there. So I'll be answering comments in the next couple of minutes, and that will be absolutely everything. Sorry about that, I was just checking some things. Am I doing Watty tomorrow? So are you talking about Watford Luton? I don't think Watford Luton's live at the moment. I know Sky's showing Swansea and Cardiff. I think when I'm tired, it's like, oh, do I really? But then a new day happens and I'll be like, oh no, I want to stream this. I don't know, because my streams have been a bit hit and miss quite recently, and that's just been my content in general. I've just not been as consistent as I have been. The best content creators are the ones who can research the championship and talk lots about it. I can't put a single minute of research anymore. A lot of the time it's just me spurting out opinions, and that's not what I wanted this channel to be. I wanted it to be a bit more educational than it has been, but I've had to sacrifice that due to the time I'm now devoting to my work. And with the added pressures of study now, that time's going to be even less. Oh my god, Hemel Hempstead actually got a late goal. Bloody hell. Yeah, so they got a late goal in the 90th minute, but Chelmsford do hold on for the 3 points. Jesus Christ. Bloody hell. Right. God. Hashtag, I've lost 4-0. Did they lost to Felix though? They lost to Felix though. Wow. Well, from beating top of the league, hashtag are now back to square one. Can we see Gatsby? He left halfway through. So, unfortunately, Gatsby's not there. Right. My voice is gone. And honestly, I think I'm going to have another rest, honestly. And just, and it's been another disappointing stream because, unfortunately, we have lost a subscriber too. So, it seems like you guys want me to keep my beard, which is fine by me, but not fine by most people that I work with. Anyway, regardless, I've really enjoyed the 3 PMs. Prediction leagues, obviously, I'm a bit backed up with it at the moment. I will try and catch up with it as soon as I can. And yeah, in terms of streams tomorrow, just keep going with that. And just keep looking out, because I will be doing some stuff. I will be trying to do all of that. And that's really all I can say. So yeah, keep your eyes on, because I might stream tomorrow. Definitely on Monday you'll see my review and my predictions for the 2 midweek games as well. I may stream one of them as well. And then it'll be the same procedure again. More and more predictions, because that's pretty much what this channel's turned into now. It's just predictions. Anyway guys, that will wrap it up for today. If you guys have not liked the stream, please do so. It does really help the growth of this channel when you do so. Please do smash that subscribe button also if you've not done so. That also really helps as well. And please hit that subscribe button and share the channel to All of that helps as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you saw the end of this stream. As always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next day. Thank you, guys.